Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we are going to do something a little different. I want to start by asking you to close your eyes.
Okay.
Well, don't close your eyes if you're driving, obviously. But if you're safe, close them. I want to run a little simulation in your head.
I'm ready. Where are we going?
We're going to a party. A massive, blowout house party. It's Saturday night, the music is thumping, maybe a little too loud, and the room is absolutely packed. Wall-to-wall people.
I can picture it.
You squeeze your way in through the front door, and the energy is just overwhelming.
Okay, yeah, I'm there. It's hot, it's loud, it probably smells like cheap beer and expensive cologne.
Exactly that. And you look around and you see all the archetypes, over in the corner, there's a heated argument about politics. People are shouting, faces are getting red.
Right.
By the drinks table, there's a group laughing hysterically at some inside joke. People are shoving phones in each other's faces, showing off vacation photos. It feels chaotic. It feels alive.
It feels like humanity in a bottle. Just a messy, loud microcosm of us.
Right. But then you decide to actually join in. You walk up to that group laughing at the joke. You lean in to listen.
Okay.
And suddenly, the hair on the back of your neck just stands up. Because the laughter, it's weird, it's perfectly rhythmic, it's a loop. Ha ha ha, pause, ha ha.
Oh, that is incredibly creepy.
It gets worse. You turn to the guys arguing about politics. You look into their eyes and there's nothing there. They're glazed over.
Oh.
They aren't looking at each other, they're looking through each other. And you realize they're just shouting pre-written scripts at the wall. They aren't listening, they're just broadcasting.
Okay. This went from a party to a horror movie really, really fast.
And then the realization hits you. You look around the room, you really look and you do the math. 50% of the people in this room aren't people at all.
They're what?
They are sophisticated mannequins. They have speakers taped to their mouths, playing snippets of conversations recorded 10 years ago. And the scariest part, the other 50%, the real humans, are so distracted, so overstimulated that they haven't even noticed. They're flirting with the mannequins. They're arguing with the mannequins. They're buying things from the mannequins.
That is a terrifying image. It's like the Twilight Zone meets the Matrix. But I know exactly why you're setting this scene. You aren't talking about a house party.
No.
You're talking about the internet.
I am. Today, we are diving into a theory that sounds like absolute paranoia until you look at the data. It's called the dead internet theory.
And I want to set the stage here immediately, because the name dead internet theory sounds like something you'd find on, a UFO forum at 3 in the morning.
It really does. It sounds fringe.
Absolutely. But our mission today is to take that fringe idea and subject it to some rigorous, data-heavy analysis. We aren't just speculating here.
No, we brought receipts. We really did.
We have the Imperva 2024 Bad Bot Report, which is basically the gold standard for traffic analysis. We have deep dive market research from Galaxy Interactive. We have technical engineering blogs from Cloudflare, and some political science analysis from The Loop.
So this isn't just creepypasta. We are talking about the infrastructure of our daily lives. The premise we're unpacking is essentially this. The old internet, the one where I post a picture of my cat and you, a human friend, comment, cute cat. That internet is dead.
It died.
It died somewhere around 2016 or 2017.
And it was replaced by a simulation. An internet dominated by bots, by AI-generated content, and algorithms talking to other algorithms, with humans just trapped in the middle trying to figure out what is real.
And to go back to my party analogy, that number I threw out, 50% mannequins.
Yeah.
I didn't pull that out of thin air.
No, you definitely did not. That is the headline statistic from the Imperva 2024 Bad Bot Report. I mean, they analyzed billions of requests across the global internet. And a finding was that nearly half, 49.6% to be precise, of all internet traffic is now non-human.
Let's just pause on that for a second. Half. If I look at my router lights blinking right now, every other blink is a machine talking to a machine.
Correct. The clicking, the scrolling, the viewing, the liking.
Yeah.
Half of it is automated scripts.
Mm-hmm.
We have crossed the threshold where human activity is, well, it's rapidly becoming the minority behavior on the web.
It sounds absolutely wild. Like if I told my mom, half the internet is fake, she'd think I've been spending too much time in the basement.
Right.
But today, we're going to prove it. We are going to explore how we went from a human-centric web to something synthetic. We're going to talk about AI slop, the liar's dividend, and we're going to travel back to 1950 to see how Alan Turing basically predicted this entire mess.
It is a journey, from the plumbing of the web all the way to the philosophy of the human mind. So let's get into it.
Okay, let's unhack this. Section 1. The anatomy of a conspiracy theory. Because before the big cybersecurity firms got involved, this was definitely a conspiracy theory.
Oh, absolutely. 100%. If you trace the history, and we're looking at, Wikipedia and Galaxy Interactive for this, the specific phrase, dead internet theory, really solidified around 2021.
That recent.
Yeah, that recent. Came from a forum called Agora Roads Macintosh Cafe.
Agora Roads Macintosh Cafe. That sounds like a vaporwave album title.
It really, really does. It's this niche sort of retro-style forum. And there was a user on there named Illumina Tyrant.
Illumina to Pirate. You just know you're in for a quality take when the author is named Illumina to Pirate.
That's exactly. But credit where it's due, this user posted a thread titled, Dead Internet Theory, Most of the Internet is Fake. And it just went viral in these underground circles.
Right.
But the original flavor of the theory was, well, it was pretty paranoid.
How so? What was the claim?
The claim was that the U.S. government, or maybe a cabal of massive corporations, had killed the old internet intentionally. That they'd replaced it with AI to gaslight the population, control the narrative, and force consumerism on everyone.
So a top-down orchestrated psyop.
Exactly. Like a guy in a dark room smoking a cigarette, flipping a switch that says, unleash the bots, basically. And that's what scholars now call the strong version of the theory. The idea that the internet is a total fabrication, a simulation designed to keep us placated while society collapses around us.
Which is, look, I love a good movie plot, but that feels a bit much, a little over the top.
It is. It's pure Matrix territory. But then there's the weak version of the theory.
Okay.
And weak here doesn't mean it's less scary. It just means it's less organized. The weak version argues that there isn't one guy in a dark room. Instead, it's just pure capitalism and incentives run amok.
So it's not a conspiracy to control our minds.
No.
It's just that spam became cheaper than truth.
Precisely. The weak version asserts that elites, corporations, and political actors are all using bots to shape discourse. And they've just been so successful that organic human conversation has been drowned out by the noise.
That feels much more plausible, more chaotic, less diabolical.
It is. Caroline Buster wrote a great piece in The Atlantic about this, and she noted that this idea moved from a paranoid fantasy to an observable reality in record time. But here's the part that I think is most important, and Galaxy Interactive really drills into this.
What's that?
Why was this even possible?
Yeah, why? Why is the internet so vulnerable to this kind of takeover?
It comes down to architecture. We have to talk about how the internet is actually built. I want to introduce a concept that might sound boring, but is actually critical. Statelessness.
Statelessness. Okay, that sounds like political refugee situation. What does it mean in computer science?
It's all about memory. So think about your local coffee shop. You walk in, the barista sees you, smiles, and starts making your usual order.
Right, a large black coffee. They know me.
They recognize you. There is a continuous state of relationship there. They have a memory of you.
Right, I'm a regular.
The internet protocols, HTTP, TCP/IP, are not a coffee shop. They are more like the guy in the movie Memento.
The guy with the short-term memory loss who has to tattoo everything on himself.
Exactly. Every time you click a link, every single time you refresh a page, the server treats you like a complete stranger. It has no inherent memory of who you are or what you did 5 seconds ago.
So it's a constant reset.
It's a constant reset. Now, we built things like cookies to patch this up, to create a fake sense of memory.
Right, the things I'm always being asked to accept.
Exactly. But the underlying infrastructure is forgetful by design.
So at its core, the internet doesn't know I'm me.
It doesn't know what you are. It was designed in the 70s and 80s to move files between universities. The assumption was that everyone on the network was a human researcher with good intentions.
A very different world.
A completely different world. It wasn't built to verify identity. It was built to deliver packets of information.
So we built a system that relies on trust. I am a human requesting this file, and then we hooked it up to a world where bad actors exist.
And not just bad actors, but bad actors with infinite scale. Because the internet is stateless and doesn't verify identity at the protocol level, a single computer script can pretend to be 10 million different people.
And the server has no way to know.
No. It can't tell the difference between one guy clicking 10 million times and 10 million guys clicking once.
That is a massive design flaw. It's like building a bank with no locks on the doors because you assume everyone in town is honest.
And now the robbers are here.
Oh.
And they're not just here, they're smart. Galaxy Interactive cites a study from UC San Diego regarding the Turing test. We'll talk more about Turing later, but the headline is this.
Yeah.
GPT 4.5 was judged to be human 73% of the time.
73%? That's shockingly high.
It's incredibly high.
Yeah.
So not only does the internet not check ID at the door, but once the bots get inside, they are charming enough to fool us 3/4 of the time.
Okay, so the door is unlocked and the intruders look just like us. Let's talk about who these intruders actually are. Section 2. The data. We mentioned the 50% stat, but bot is a vague word.
It is.
Are we talking about Google crawling the web to help me find recipes? Because that's a good bot.
Right. Good bots exist. Search engine crawlers, uptime monitors, copyright scanners, they're part of the infrastructure.
Yeah.
But the Imperva report specifically isolates bad bots.
Okay.
And these bad bots make up nearly 1/3 of all internet traffic. 31.6% to be exact.
1/3 of the internet is essentially criminals, or at least up to no good.
Criminals or parasites, depending on how you look at it.
Yeah.
The report defines bad bots as those that exploit business logic. And this is where it starts to hit your wallet.
Explain that. Exploiting business logic. That sounds like dry corporate speak.
Let's make it real. Have you tried to buy concert tickets recently?
Yeah.
Or maybe a limited edition pair of sneakers?
Oh, it's a nightmare. An absolute nightmare. You get in the queue, you wait, and then boom, it's sold out in 3 seconds flat.
That is a bad bot exploiting business logic. That specific attack is called inventory hoarding.
Inventory hoarding.
These bots are programmed to hit the buy button faster than your nervous system can even process the signal from your brain to your finger. They buy up all the inventory.
And then what?
And then milliseconds later, they list those same tickets or shoes on a resale site for triple the price.
So when I'm cursing at Ticketmaster, I'm basically losing a foot race against robots.
You are, and you never stood a chance.
Yeah.
And it gets more insidious. There's something called denial of inventory.
Okay, what's that?
Imagine you're an airline. A competitor's bot can swarm your booking site, adding thousands of flights to check out carts. But they don't buy them, they just hold them in the cart.
So the system thinks the seats are taken, it marks them as unavailable.
Exactly. So real humans go to your site, they see sold out, and they go to the competitor's website instead. Then, after a few minutes, the bots just release the seats. It's corporate sabotage.
That is diabolical. That's just, that's evil.
And that's just one flavor. There is credential stuffing, where bots take leaked passwords from one data breach and try them on a million other sites to see what accounts they can unlock.
So they're just rattling all the doorknobs on the internet.
All at once. And then there's scraping, where they just steal your content, your pricing data, your articles, and republish it or use it to undercut you.
And the report says they're getting harder to catch.
Much, much harder. In the old days, a bot was just a simple script. It would hit a page 100 times a second from one IP address. Easy to spot, easy to block.
Right. You just block that address.
Yeah. They use something called residential proxies. They route their traffic through your neighbor's hacked smart fridge.
Wait, through a fridge?
Or a smart TV, or a security camera. So it looks like the traffic is coming from a real home IP address, not a data center. And they simulate human behavior.
How do you simulate human behavior?
They simulate mouse movements. They hesitate before clicking.
They hesitate.
Yes. They are programmed to act imperfectly because humans are imperfect. They'll jiggle the mouse a little bit. They'll scroll down a page, then scroll back up a bit like they missed something or are rereading a paragraph. They are pantomiming humanity.
That is so creepy. It's like a burglar learning to walk exactly like the homeowner so the floorboards don't creak in a suspicious way.
That is a perfect analogy.
Yeah.
And this whole situation leads to a massive economic crisis for the web, something Cloudflare calls the crawl-to-click gap.
Okay, crawl to click. Bring this down for me.
So the traditional deal of the internet, the sort of social contract of the web, was this. You, a creator, write an article or make a video.
Right.
Google's bot crawls it, meaning it reads and indexes it. In exchange, when someone searches for that topic, Google sends them to your site. You get a click.
I give you data, you give me traffic, and traffic equals ad revenue or sales. Everyone wins, in theory.
That was the deal. But AI has broken that deal. We are seeing a massive spike in crawling bots reading your site, but a precipitous drop in referrals, in clicks.
Because the AI isn't trying to index the site for search, it's trying to learn from it.
Exactly. The AI consumes your article, absorbs the knowledge into its model, and then when a user asks a question, ChatGPT or Gemini or whatever just gives them the answer directly. The user never needs to visit your site.
So they are strip mining the library. They're taking all the books, memorizing them, and then setting up a booth outside telling everyone the stories for free.
Yes.
And then the library goes out of business.
And if the library goes out of business, no new books get written. That is the crisis in a nutshell. The Cloudflare data shows that nearly 80% of AI crawling is now for training, not for search referrals. The economic engine of the open web is stalling out.
And while the creators are starving, the social media platforms are just becoming hallucinations. I was looking at the Galaxy Interactive stats for Platform X, formerly Twitter. These numbers are genuinely depressing.
They are staggering, aren't they? Reports suggest up to 64% of accounts on X may be bots.
64%.
And during peak events like the Super Bowl or an election night, 76% of the traffic is automation.
76%. So if I'm on X on election night, and I'm arguing with some guy who has an anime profile picture and a bunch of numbers in his name,
Statistically, you are almost certainly arguing with a script that has been designed specifically to keep you angry so you stay on the platform longer.
and Instagram isn't much better, is it?
No. They estimate 95 million fake accounts. And even the big influencers, the Kardashians of the world. The data suggests up to 23% of their million-plus followers are fake. It's all inflated.
It gives me this feeling of vertigo. Galaxy calls it digital hallucination.
That's a great term for it.
You think you are in a stadium cheering with millions of people, but you're actually in an empty room full of mirrors and tape recorders.
And sometimes those tape recorders produce things that are truly, truly bizarre. Which means we have to talk about slop.
Oh, yes. Section 3, the rise of slop. I love this word. It's so visceral. It just sounds like something you feed to pigs in a trough.
It's an apt description. Wikipedia defines AI slop as the flood of low-quality, AI-generated content that is clogging up our feeds. It's uncanny, it's low effort, and it's absolutely everywhere.
And the mascot of this movement is Shrimp Jesus.
Shrimp Jesus.
For the listener who is lucky enough to have not seen this yet, please paint the picture.
Okay, so imagine a hyper-realistic, yet somehow clearly fake, image of Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
But his body, his face, his robes, everything is made of glistening pink shrimp.
Or he's a flight attendant. Or he's made of plastic water bottles.
Right. And he's usually sitting in some bizarre location, like a muddy hut or an airplane cabin. It makes no sense.
And these images, they aren't just obscure weirdness sitting on some corner of the internet. They go viral, massively viral.
That is the key.
Yeah.
You will see these posts on Facebook with 50,000 likes and 10,000 comments, and the comments are all identical.
Just amen, beautiful, God bless. And my personal favorite, it's my birthday.
It's my birthday. What does that even mean? But here's the question. Who is commenting? Who looks at a shrimp messiah and has the immediate reaction, amen?
Other bots, it has to be.
It is. This is what we call the dead internet loop.
Explain the loop. Who is making money here? What's the incentive?
It's algomaxing. It's gaming the algorithm. Someone in a basement or maybe a content farm sets up a bot to generate thousands of images. They try everything. Cats, cars, babies, whatever.
Just throwing spaghetti at the wall.
Exactly. And the algorithm on Facebook notices that images with high texture complexity, like shrimp scales or water bottles, combined with a recognizable figure like Jesus, causes humans to pause their scrolling for just a fraction of a second longer.
Just a little hesitation on what the heck is that moment.
That's all the algorithm needs. It reads that hesitation as interest, so it boosts the image in the feed.
Okay.
Then the Amen bots swarm in. These are other bots run by other people that are trying to look human so they don't get banned by the platform. They need to build up a history of activity.
So they comment on popular posts to seem legitimate.
Precisely. So the Shrimp Jesus bot posts the bait. The Amen bots swarm the bait to look real. The algorithm sees the swarm and thinks, wow, this is incredibly popular content, and then it pushes it to your grandma's feed.
Exactly. And my grandma looks at it and goes, what in the world is happening? But the engagement metrics are through the roof. The platform sells ads against those eyeballs. It is a closed loop of financial extraction that produces absolutely nothing of human value. It is just slop.
Thomas Summer called Shrimp Jesus the messenger for the fatal system, which is a great quote.
It is. It's terrifying. It's a machine eating its own tail.
Right.
And you mentioned that this leads to something called the inversion.
Yes. This is a concept that's been discussed by YouTube engineers, and it's quoted in our sources. The inversion is the theoretical tipping point where fake traffic becomes the majority of all traffic.
Which, according to the Imperva report, we're already at, or very close to being at.
We are right on the cusp. But here is the terrifying consequence. Algorithms are trained on data. They are trained to recognize normal user behavior.
Okay.
So if 50 or 60% of the traffic is bots, The algorithm starts to think that bot behavior is normal behavior.
So normal is clicking exactly every 0.5 seconds, scrolling at a constant speed, and commenting amen on a picture of shrimp.
Exactly. And if that is the new definition of normal, what happens to you, a real human?
I look weird.
You click erratically, you read an article for 10 minutes, then scroll really fast. You don't comment on everything you see. To the algorithm, you look like the anomaly. You look like the broken user.
I look like the broken bot.
Yes. So the algorithm might start shadow banning human accounts or filtering us out because we don't fit the pattern of the majority. The inversion is when the real humans are treated as the noise and the bots are treated as the signal.
We get locked out of our own house because we don't speak the robot language anymore. That is profound. It really makes you question what intelligence even means in this context.
It does.
Which I think is the perfect bridge to Section 4.
Section 4, the philosophical root. We have to go back to the source code. The very beginning, 1950, Alan Turing.
The father of computing. Now, most people know the Turing test. They think they know it, at least. If a machine can fool a human into thinking it's also human, it's intelligent. That's the pop culture version.
Right. But if you actually read his 1950 paper, Computing, Machinery, and Intelligence, which is broken down beautifully in the Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy, Turing was much more nuanced. He actually thought the question, can machines think, was meaningless.
Meaningless? Why? He's the guy who asked it.
He said it was too vague to answer. Thinking is a human biological process. He didn't want to get bogged down in theology or philosophy about what a soul is. He wanted something practical. So he proposed a game.
The imitation game.
The imitation game. And the goal wasn't truth. The goal wasn't consciousness. The goal was simply deception.
Can it fool you?
Yes. Can a machine fool an interrogator 30% of the time after 5 minutes of text conversation?
Wait. Only 30%? That was the bar he set.
That was the bar. He wasn't aiming for perfection. He predicted that by the year 2000, we would be able to speak of machines thinking without anyone contradicting us.
He was a little off on the date, but dead right on the result.
Exactly. But what's so fascinating is the objections he anticipated back in 1950. He basically predicted the entire debate we're having about ChatGPT today.
Yeah, let's look at these because they sound like they were written yesterday. The first one, Lady Lovelace's objection.
Ada Lovelace, the world's first computer programmer way back in the 1800s. Her objection was that a computer can never truly be intelligent because it cannot originate anything.
It has no creativity.
It can only do what we order it to perform. It has no element of surprise.
And looking at Shrimp Jesus, looking at the AI slop, that's the question, isn't it? Is generative AI actually creating? Or is it just what they call a stochastic parrot?
Exactly. That's the modern term for her objection. Is it actually thinking, or is it just a very sophisticated autocomplete probability matching the next most likely word in a sentence based on all the text it's read?
So Lady Lovelace would say AI is just a very fancy remix artist.
A remix artist, a plagiarist, a ecologist. It takes the sum total of human creativity that it was trained on, and it just regurgitates it in weird, sometimes interesting patterns. It's not origination, it's digestion.
Digestion. That's a gross but very accurate image. Okay, so what was the next objection Turing saw coming?
The argument from consciousness.
Okay.
This is the objection that says, a machine can't feel. Turing wrote that people would argue a machine can't be kind, resourceful, beautiful, friendly, have initiative, or be charmed by sex.
Charmed by sex. Turing was a poet, but it's true. A bot on Twitter doesn't feel anger when it's arguing about politics. It doesn't feel hate.
No, but, and this is a crucial insight for the dead internet, Turing realized that it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter if it feels it.
No. If a machine can simulate anger well enough to make you angry, the effect is the same. The end result is the same.
Right. If I'm in a rage because a bot insulted my political views, my blood pressure is real, my cortisol levels are real, the bot is just code, but the impact it has on me is biological.
Exactly. Wikipedia cites examples of bots on Twitter that tweet things like, I hate texting, or I'm so tired today. They simulate vulnerability and human flaws to bypass our critical filters. They hack our empathy.
They're pretending to be like us, so we let our guard down.
Yes. And Turing had one more objection he called the heads in the sand.
The heads in the sand objection.
This is just the raw fear. The fear that if machines can think, we lose our superiority. We lose our special place at the top of the intellectual pyramid. So we just refuse to admit it's happening. We stick our heads in the sand and pretend it's not real.
And the dead internet theory is basically the moment we pull our heads out of the sand and look around and realize, oh no, we aren't the smartest things in the room anymore. Or at least we're not the loudest.
We are definitely not the loudest. And that leads directly to the most dangerous application of all this noise.
Politics.
Politics.
Yeah.
Section 5, synthetic politics.
This is where the rubber really meets the road. Because if you can fill the internet with fake people, you can fake a movement. You can manufacture a consensus out of thin air.
That is the core concept of synthetic politics discussed in The Loop. We saw the beta version of this back in 2016 with the Russian Internet Research Agency, the IRA.
The troll farms.
Right. But I want to be really specific about what they did because it was clever. They didn't just post spam saying vote for this person.
What?
No. They created synthetic conflict.
Yeah.
For example, they would set up one bot network posing as very vocal Black Lives Matter activists. Then they would set up another bot network posing as fervent Texas separatists.
And have them fight.
And they would make the bots argue with each other. They would tag each other, quote tweet each other with insults. They were staging a play.
A play designed to look like a riot.
Yes. And real humans would stumble across this argument on Facebook or Twitter and think, wow, the country is so divided, things are falling apart. And then they would jump into the argument themselves and make it real.
So the bots manufactured the spark to start a real fire.
Precisely. They amplified existing divisions until they seemed insurmountable.
That is terrifying, but here is the twist in the data that really surprised me. We all panicked about AI in the 2024 elections. We thought deepfakes of candidates would steal the vote. But the research says it didn't really happen.
This is the really counterintuitive finding from The Loop. Despite the massive availability of generative AI tools and despite documented interference campaigns from Russia, China, and others, the data suggests there were no measurable changes in voting behavior in 2024 that could be attributed to AI.
Why? Are we just more stubborn than we thought? Or better at spotting fakes?
It's partly that people are just very entrenched in their views. A slightly off fake video of a candidate isn't going to flip a die-hard partisan voter. The AI mind control theory turned out to be, well, kind of overblown.
So, is that good news? Did we dodge a bullet?
Not exactly. Because while AI might not be great at persuasion, it is excellent at creating confusion. And this brings us to the real danger, the liar's dividend.
The liar's dividend. This sounds like a financial term, but it feels political. What is it?
It is the benefit that liars and bad actors get from the mere existence of sophisticated AI fakes.
Break that down for me. Give me an example.
Okay. Imagine a CEO or a politician is caught on a hot mic saying something incredibly racist or corrupt. A video leaks. It looks real. The audio sounds exactly like them.
Okay. In 2010, their career is over. Done.
Right. No question. But in 2026, they can just release a statement saying, that video is a malicious AI deepfake created by my political opponents to smear me.
And because we all know that deepfakes exist.
A significant percentage of people will believe him, or at the very least, they will doubt the authenticity of the real video enough to move on. The dividend is that bad actors can dismiss real evidence as fake.
So you don't even need to use AI to fool people. You just need to accuse reality of being AI.
That's it. It destroys the concept of proof. I didn't do it. The algorithm did it. It gives everyone plausible deniability for everything.
And this erodes what the philosopher Jürgen Habermas calls the public sphere.
It's the foundation of it. Democracy requires a shared reality. We have to be able to agree on a basic set of facts. This event happened, you said this thing. If every piece of evidence can be dismissed as a simulation, the public sphere collapses.
We just retreat into our tribes.
We retreat into our tribes because we can't trust anything outside of our own direct personal experience. It's epistemic exhaustion.
Yeah, epistemic exhaustion. I like that.
The goal isn't to convince you of a lie. It's to exhaust you until you stop looking for the truth altogether, because it's just too much work.
Okay, I'm thoroughly exhausted and sufficiently terrified. We need to find a light at the end of this tunnel. Section 6, can we fix it? Is there a way out of this mess?
The short answer is yes, but not with the tools we are using right now.
You mean the "Are you a robot" checkboxes, the CAPTCHAs with the fire hydrants and the crosswalks?
Galaxy Interactive calls those band-aids on a bullet wound. And worse, they are failing. AI vision models are now better at solving CAPTCHs than humans are.
I believe it. I failed one yesterday. It asked me to click on stairs, and I missed a corner of one step.
See? You failed the Turing test. The bot would have passed. And those AI detectors, the software that claims to spot AI written text, are notoriously unreliable.
They don't work.
Not really. They generate false positives constantly. They often accuse non-native English speakers of being bots because their grammar is sometimes too formal or correct.
So the police dogs can't smell the drugs anymore. What do? We can't just give up.
We have to rebuild the architecture. We have to change the foundation. We have to move from a trust model to a verify model. Cloudflare and Galaxy propose a few radical but necessary changes. The first is proof of origin.
Proof of origin. What does that look like in the real world?
It involves cryptography. So imagine if camera manufacturers, Sony, Canon, Apple, everyone, embedded a special cryptographic chip in their camera hardware. When you take a photo, the chip mathematically signs the file. It creates a digital signature that says, this image was captured by a real Sony camera sensor at this specific GPS location at this exact time.
Like a digital notary stamp that you can't possibly fake.
Exactly. So in the future, when I see a photo of a war zone or a political rally on Twitter, I can hover over it. If it has the Sony verified or Apple verified stamp, I know it's real photography. If it doesn't have that stamp, I should assume it's synthetic until proven otherwise.
That seems incredibly necessary. But what about the bots themselves? The ones just clogging up the traffic and scraping content?
For that, Cloudflare proposes cryptographic IDs for bots. Right now, we try to block bots by their IP address. But as we said, they use residential proxies. They hide.
Right, they pretend they're coming from my neighbor's fridge.
The new system would require bots to carry a passport. If you are a good bot, like the Google search crawler, you cryptographically sign every request you make. You say, I am Google. Here's my unforgeable digital key.
And the server checks the key.
The server checks the key, sees it's valid, and lets you in.
And if a bot shows up without a key, or with a fake one,
you don't get in. Or you get thrown into a quarantine version of the site with limited data. It creates accountability.
I like this. Digital passports for robots. But what about the economic problem, the AI eating all the content for free?
This is my favorite proposal because it uses a piece of internet history that's been dormant for decades. HTTP 402.
Okay, I know 404 is page not found. Everyone knows that one. What is 402?
In the original design of the internet, the status code 402 was reserved for payment required. But it was never really implemented or used.
It was a placeholder.
It was a placeholder for a future that never came. Cloudflare suggests we dust it off and finally use it. Paper crawl.
Paper crawl, how would that work?
If an AI company like OpenAI wants to scrape the New York Times or your personal blog to train their next language model, they send a request. Your server sees it's a verified AI training bot.
Okay.
And it sends back a 402 error. Access denied until you pay 0.001 cents for this page.
A tiny fraction of a penny.
Right. For one request, it's nothing. But if they're scraping billions of pages a day to train their models, those fractions add up to millions of dollars. It completely changes the economics.
It makes scraping costly.
Right now, scraping is free. Spamming is free. Abusing the system is free. If you make it cost even a tiny amount of money, the entire business model for bad bots collapses overnight.
It stops the free ride. It forces the parasites to finally pay the host.
Exactly. It moves the internet from a free-for-all Wild West to a consent-based economy. You can scrape my data, but you have to ask, and you have to pay me for it.
It feels like the only way forward. We have to treat trust as an engineering problem, not a content moderation problem. We can't just hire more people to delete tweets. We have to build a web where fake is mathematically and economically distinguishable from real.
Precisely. We need to pave the roads and put up traffic lights. The dirt road era of the internet is over.
Wow. Okay, let's take a breath here. We have traveled from a party full of mannequins to the stateless architecture of the 1970s, to the philosophy of Alan Turing, to the collapse of truth, and finally to a cryptographic solution. That was a deep dive.
It really highlights the inflection point we're at.
Yeah.
The internet isn't dead, technically. It's more active than ever. But the human-only internet, the quiet little village where everyone knew everyone, that is dead. That is history.
We are living in the mixed reality era now. It's a cyborg space.
And, you know, despite the bots, despite the shrimp Jesus, despite the liar's dividend, the human desire for connection is still there.
Yeah.
That's the one thing they can't automate. We're just having to filter through a lot more noise to find the signal.
We're digging through the slop to find the diamonds. I want to leave the listener with one final, slightly provocative thought to chew on.
Go for it.
We spent this whole hour talking about how the bots are becoming more like humans. They mimic our mouse movements, they mimic our language, they feign our emotions to manipulate us.
Right, the imitation game.
Yeah.
They're trying to imitate us.
But I want to ask the inverse question. In a world curated by algorithms, where we are constantly nudged to maximize engagement, where we are trained to write catchy headlines, trained to use trending audio on our videos, trained to respond to outrage with more outrage? Are we becoming more like the bots?
That is the haunting question, isn't
We
it?
repeat the same memes and catchphrases, we join the same online pile-ons, we optimize our lives for likes and shares. We are, in a very real sense, responding to inputs to maximize a reward function.
If we are just processing data to get a dopamine reward from the platform, maybe we're the ones who are failing the Turing test now. Who is imitating whom?
On that absolutely terrifying note, check your sources, verify your reality, and try to stay human. Thanks for listening to The Deep Dive.
See you in the real world. Maybe.